everybody. Welcome to another Movie Money Mashup. This is our first fall edition, which I am very excited about. There are certain fall movies that have been traditions in my household. So my mom is good. I'm very sad that my mom doesn't get to see this live this time, but she will have the link and I'm sure she will comment for those following what she likes to comment. And today we are doing Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And this, there's actually some history about this, Laura. Have you, I don't know if you knew this, but in the 1940s, Disney started doing package films. And this is one of the last package films that they did. Did you know that?
I have seen multiple package films, but I did not know where this fell in the lineup. No,
Yeah, there's Fun and Fancy Free, there's Make Mine Music, all those where a bunch of different cartoons are in one. Do you know why they
Mhm.
did that?
Because it costs a lot to put things on film and they want to do it all at once.
Well, a couple of things, but you're on the, it was because of World War II. They were
Oh.
doing a bunch of stuff that they had to do for World War II films. And so doing those, Pinocchio and all that
Mhm.
stuff, it cost a ton of money to make and they didn't have a bunch of money. So it cost less and they were experimenting with all these different films. Just, oh, let's try this one, let's try this one. They were able to experiment and not spend a bunch of money as well as take care of everything they were doing for the US military at the time. And so Ichabod and Mr. Toad is the last of the package films from that era. And
That's
after
interesting.
this, they went back to full feature films, which was Cinderella was the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's fun. Hey, thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And and this is, I would say, of all the package films, this is my favorite. And, for those who don't know, this is the story of Wind in the Willows and Sleepy Hollow.
Mhm.
So there's not much to say about that. And yeah. So what would you say?
Well,
And
this
this
is
one, what
this is 1946.
is it? I don't remember.
It is it
I don't know. 1949.
1949. Okay. So I knew it was around there somewhere. So this is it's crazy if you think about it. So I did like thinking about how old this story was. And it's part of older lore that's even older than that because it's from a different type of storybook, right? So, but the fact that there are pieces of it that still relate to us today is astonishing. And I think that what I'm finding is that human nature does not change.
No,
No.
we're all stuck.
There's a reason why Mrs. Potts sings "Tale as Old as Time" because it's all the same story, just rewritten again. So it's part of the hero's journey. There's only so many journeys you can go on. And I think in this one there's some really fun pieces and there's the scary pieces. I'm a weenie when it comes to scary movies, so I was not excited about Ichabod. I'm still not excited about it, but I love you, and so we're doing this one, and this is what our fans voted on. So fans keep voting. We are doing this for you. Obviously, it's not for me. So
And for those of you who aren't following Laura, how do they follow you on Instagram so we can get more fans?
you're so very sweet. I'm on Instagram at Accelerate Your Legacy, and I need people voting in my polls.
And for the first time for this one, people finally voted in her polls. And
Yes.
we need more. If you love this show, go follow her and vote in the polls because I'm getting votes. I don't know what's going on over there, but she needs
That's what
votes.
happens when I don't ever post anything. People are like, "What?"
Well, let's break these down.
All
Let's,
right,
let's
let's
talk
do
about
it.
Mr. Toad first.
Okay.
And truly, there is a theme through both of the stories. And truly, there's that nursery rhyme feel to this. Like these are lessons that we all need to learn, and lessons that, yeah, like you said, transcend time, transcend people. So I'd love to hear first, yeah, your thoughts on Mr. Toad, because she is familiar with this, but in general, she hasn't watched this in at least a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what do you think?
I
Because I
did
think
watch
Mr.
Mr.
Toad
Toad.
reminds me of me.
Oh, how interesting. Okay, I did not read that through. Okay, you need to do the synopsis though. Do you want to start with the Mr. Toad synopsis
Okay,
and
yeah,
I'll
I'll
start
do the
there?
Mr.
Okay.
Toad
Okay.
synopsis. So this is about Mr. Toad, and I'll tell you, actually, I want to be like Mr. Toad, but I'm actually a lot more like Rat. Just so you know, I'll admit, I'll admit. But Mr. Shota, he's this crazy guy. He's got a bunch of money, and he has manias that come, and he gets just freaked out about whatever the newest thing is, and he's got some friends. So he basically gets on a new mania, motor mania,
Woohoo!
and he his friends are not able to stop him, and he gets himself into trouble, and then we learn how he gets out. And then we also, I mean, there's so many things in this. We learn about friendship, we learn about
Mhm.
so many lessons. But yeah, gets himself into trouble, going after Motor Mania, and we have to see how he gets himself out.
Yeah.
That's generally the synopsis. And he's crazy, and he's awesome, and he's an adventurer. And I love adventure. I love freedom. I love, people going after it. I love crazy friends. I love it all. So yeah, there's
That's
my
why we're friends. You love crazy friends. Uh, I think that this movie just again, the fact that this is in the 1940s and it feels so relatable to how people are today. There are certain stereotypically there are men in their midlife crisis that go after a new car because that's what they see as the pinnacle and they have to have it. And so
did
that's
you say midlife crisis men? Is that what you said?
yes.
Oh, it could happen to anyone.
It can happen to anybody. It has not happened to me yet. So thankfully, I think that means I'm not at midlife. I should be fine. But I just think it's funny that there's so many pieces of this movie that feel like they are part of today. One of the themes, and this is not one of the positive themes, but it's a negative theme. Don't go into business with weasels.
Yep.
Just don't do it. You should have known that they're weasels.
Yeah. I mean,
Is
they're
this where the stereotype comes from? It comes from Mr. Toad. This is where weasels come from.
I mean, I would think so. Who knows?
Yes.
It probably came from before then. But I mean, and who knows about bartenders either, Mr. Winky.
Yeah. Well,
um, yeah, I think it's a good when you look at the theme of that is he wanted something, he wasn't ready for it, and he trusted people. He just jumped. He did, I want that, whatever it takes to get that. And for us, that could be, when it comes to going to college, we got the Parent Plus loans. We're just forcing something to happen because we want it.
oh, that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Getting someone to be a, what's that called? Where they're a backup writer on your loan. What is that?
Cosigner.
Yeah, cosigner on stuff because we're not taking the time to do it ourselves. We're just forcing it to happen. And what's kind of funny about Toad is he had the money to do it, and he could have just he went and he could have bought this, but he traded his home to do it instead. We didn't even have to do that, but he just wasn't thinking through. He wasn't taking the time and taking the steps to do it properly. And he's just like, oh, I just happen to be at a bar with Winky, and I just want their car, and I don't want to put in the patience to do it the right way.
Yeah. Friends, don't make impulse purchases when you've been drinking. Just don't. You
Yeah.
don't do it the smart way. You don't.
And a Toad, I wouldn't think a Toad can hold his liquor very well.
He just has to be next to the liquor and it gets him drunk because that's how they absorb the moisture through their skin. They're just like, somebody threw it on him. He's drunk and he didn't even do
Yeah.
it on purpose. I think I was listening to the Ramsey show earlier this morning because weirdly that's how I calm myself down. I'm like, okay, let me listen to somebody else's problems for a little bit. And there was a guy on the show that just really wanted to buy a cabin. He really wanted a cabin in the woods. We're not doing that movie. He really wanted a cabin in the woods and he wanted it now. And he was like, "Look, I can cash out my TSP and I'll have all the money for it." And Dave was like, "But then you'll have no money. Like you don't actually have the money to do this. You think you do, but because you're borrowing it, even if you're borrowing it from yourself, like you're lying to yourself." And somebody told it to me this week. They said it's like gambling. You were spending money assuming that you're going to win, but there's a reason why the house always wins. Like there's a reason why the casino has nicer furniture than you do. The house is always going to win. So we can't just jump into things and assume it's all going to work out because that's not reality.
By the way, are you timing us? Because I have no idea when we started and how long we're in. Because I want to make sure we're on task.
No, no.
All right. Well, we'll just however long it is. But the next thought is about who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
And Toad, he has some friends that are actually helpful and some friends that are not. Because he has Mole, Ratty, and Badger who actually are thinking best for him and are
Yes.
there for him when he counts. But guess what? Cyril the horse actually isn't that great of a friend, is he?
Mm,
Because he goes in, gives him a freaking disguise to escape from jail. And that's not the greatest friend in the world. And he's the one who's all like, "Yeah, I'll be your horse. Let's go everywhere." So so there's a good juxtaposition of real friends who at the end of the story are with him and go into hell, into the weasel's house to save what they're trying to
right.
do when they realize, oh, these guys are tricking him, versus Cyril, who, of course, he was there for him ish, but he was not there in a healthy way.
Yeah, well, and that happens to all of us. Sometimes we're like, "Oh, this is our friend, so they must have our best interest at heart." And we have to be discerning and realize that we need a multitude of counsel. It can't just be one person because one person could be well-meaning but completely off their rocker. Like the life of a fugitive is no life to live. That's not where we actually want to be. So having the other friends to say, actually, that's a little crazy. We're going to help you out and we're going to do this the right way. We're going to go, get your deed back or
Yeah, yeah, the
yeah,
deed.
okay.
We've got to get the deed to Toad Hall.
It sounded very wrong in my brain. I was like, that's not right. A deed. Yes, okay. So that's what they were after and it's so important to be wise about the people you surround yourself with because it's okay. It's okay to have a multitude of friends and a lot of people around you, but it's who you bring into your inner circle that you rely on. Those are going to be the most important people in your life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So would you go into a scary mansion in the middle of the night and help me fight some weasels? Is that where we're at, or
What are we fighting over? Like if it's over your kids, I will bring all of
for
the
the deed,
ammunition.
or I'm gonna go to jail? So that's
I'll
technically
save you
we'll
from
help my
jail.
kid.
That's fine. I got you.
Okay, cool, cool. I just want to know. I just want to know where we're
I
at.
mean, if it's your kids, I'm there. If it's the deed out there, yeah,
Well,
probably.
I mean, but it's either I get the deed or I go to jail, which
Yeah,
will
okay,
affect
then
my
yep. No,
kid.
then I got it. Then I got to be your backup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think, but overall, for both of these stories, there is a little bit of an issue in greed blinding us.
Yes.
Wow, that was over both of them. So talking about Toad, and then we'll start talking about Ichabod here.
Well,
But yep,
so if I'm, and I will just be completely honest with everybody, I did not watch Ichabod, but I know the story of Sleepy Hollow. So if I'm correct, he has this, Ichabod has this greedy desire, right? And there's like a blinding element where like I can't see anything except for this thing that I want. But what I realized between Mr. Toad and Ichabod together, the two of them, the two characters, um, they let their unchecked desires lead them into a bad place. So without discipline, your desire, because there's nothing wrong with desire, right? Desire can be a good thing, but without discipline, a desire can destroy the very security that you're trying to build for yourself. That was my third my through line with Sleepy Hollow there.
yeah. So talking about Sleepy Hollow a little bit. Yeah, old Icky, which is narrated by Bing Crosby,
Bing
and
Crosby, yes.
it's so good.
Such a good
And,
voice.
and if anybody didn't know this too, Mr. Toad was narrated by Basil Rathbone, who was one of the greatest like swordsmen in all those like Errol Flynn movies. He always played the bad guy in all the Errol Flynn
Mm.
movies. FYI. But yeah, Ichabod, he, in the cartoon version, he is after Katrina Van Tassel and he likes her, but he's also after her father's money because her father's
Yes.
rich and all that. And
Well,
he's
she's a very wealthy dowry there.
yeah, she does. And so that's really his focus. But what's interesting is Ichabod, at least in this movie, because I will tell you this, I am uncultured swine. I have not read the actual book of Sleepy
Oh,
Hollow
okay.
myself. So
I don't
I've
think
seen
you're
the
missing
cartoon.
much. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite.
Yeah. But through this movie, he's after like just his basic desires. He's after food all the time. He's always after food.
He's
Like
very
they show
hungry.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, they show this one part where this kid, he's in trouble, like drawing a picture of him, and then he's about to like get in trouble, and he looks at the all the food coming out of the kid's like lunchbox. He's like, oh, okay, and then it just shows him in the kid's house, and his mom's feeding him. Like this guy, his entire mission is, I want good food, I want all the women to be into me, and I want all the money. That's what his mission.
Gluttonous fella.
Yeah, gluttonous. But as he's going through, he ends up going to this party because he gets in the battle with Braun Bones over
Mm.
Katrina's affection. And so he goes to the party and he's kicking butt. He's like the one dancing with all the women and stuff and battling it out. And like it seems to be a nice, just, a regular two guys going after a girl battling it out kind of thing. But then Bron Bones tells the story of the Headless Horseman, who we're getting a little scary. But it's going to be okay, though. He tells the story of the Headless Horseman and Ichabod, you have to get across the bridge, and that's the way you'll be safe. And actually, this sequence of Ichabod, he leaves this Halloween party and he's going through the forest. This is supposedly the scariest sequence that Disney has ever made, like voted on by everybody. Like this is the scariest thing, and I can't wait for you to tell me when you watched it. Um, and so,
Yay.
and the Headless Horseman starts chasing him, and it's this crazy chase scene. And it's awesome. And what I think about that going towards money is he gets himself to a point where he has bad transportation. He's on like this donkey, this crappy horse who's like a plow horse, and he can't go very fast. So when the Headless Horseman chased him, he just was like easy to catch up to him. He gets himself to where he's at this party for so long trying to get Katrina to like him and trying to win that it's the darkness of night. And it's so cool. They actually have hands going over the moon. I've always loved, like, it's kind of a cool thing.
Oh,
And so he's going by himself through the forest, gotten himself into a bad situation, going over just the desires of his heart, blinding him, getting himself into a bad situation to where he deals with the Headless Horseman and supposedly he gets killed. Now, of course, some people say he might be a rich guy out there hidden. He might something else, but other people know better that the Headless Horseman got him. So yeah, it's scary. So on the money side, it's
do you
just
think it was just do you think it was just what's his name? Brom just wanted Katrina and so he like took out his competition.
well, later on, he does end up marrying her.
Well, okay
So
then.
it could be either one, but I think it was the Headless Horseman.
Wasn't Brom the one that told the story of the Headless Horseman?
I know. It leads to him. But I think that's really the big thing is getting yourself with your desires, impatience, searching, being greedy, getting yourself into a bad situation financially. So what would you say is a good example of that real world? We have yeah,
Real world greed example.
yeah, real world example of getting yourself into a bad situation.
I mean, the cabin that I mentioned earlier is probably a really good one. But for everyday people, your credit cards. Your credit cards are a good example of when you get greedy and you need things. There's a weird dog making weird howly noises outside. It sounds like a werewolf out there. So
Oh, this is great.
he's in it for the Halloween. I don't know if you can hear him or not. I think your credit cards are the epitome of greed in America. It's I don't care that I don't have enough for it right now. I'm willing to get myself into a precarious situation so that I can have this. And sometimes we couch it as, well, it's not me being greedy. I want to give something to somebody else. Well, why do you want to give them something that you can't actually afford? Because you want them to see you as something that you're not. There's a greed there, and a pride, neither of which are good, both of which are part of the seven deadly sins. And you have to sit there and look and go, okay, and then you're not paying them off. So is that sloth as well? Are we just really into the seven deadly sins at this point? I'm not saying that debt is sinful, obviously. That is not where I'm getting at here. But
You're so
I
hard on
do
people, Laura. Gee.
Yeah, well, do better. No, I think that it's really important to look at our motivations behind things, and a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we're just in the moment of it, right? We're in the dance. We see the object of our desire, and we just want to pounce on it instead of taking time. If he had taken time to woo Katrina, he may have gotten her in the end, but to be greedy and to jump on it and be like, I'm going to make her lust for me. Well, we're just all the seven deadly sins at this point. Then I'm really trying. Hold on. Let me get to him. Um, I think that that is one of those things where if you look at it, what is the desire of your heart when you are going after an object and you're willing to make payments, pay penalties, aka, interest on the desires of your heart right now, because that's, I think if we look at what we want most, this thing that we're willing to put ourselves into debt for right now would seem silly and insignificant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, these are, two of my most favorite movies, and I really think it's funny. I keep wanting to say this, but I don't remember. What are the name of the stories that teach life lessons? What is that called?
Parables.
I want to say parables, but that's not quite it.
Hmm.
But parables is pretty good.
Why, what are you trying to say?
Well, I don't remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember
No,
the book.
but give me a
Oh, well, I mean, but
definition.
like fairy tales, they are what? They teach this. It's a word for that. And I think these two stories go into that arena as well. Are you chat GPTing
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it?
Didactic stories that teach moral or life lessons?
Well, moral,
Fables.
fables.
Fables. That's
That's
the word you're looking for. Yep.
yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Fables.
Fables often feature animals with human traits and
Oh,
always end with a clear moral. Parables are human-centered stories.
oh, interesting. So truly, we kind of have a fable and a parable here
Hmm.
because Ichabod is human. Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
Toad is, a toad.
So yeah, these stories are classic, and I'll tell you, everybody, go and if you haven't watched this movie, perfect time of the year to do it. If you haven't read the books, they're both great books, and yeah, I think that's it for me. And yeah, I love it. And this is a little different. We're pre-recording this because I will be on my wedding anniversary trip on the live. So I believe the next live after the 19th is October 3rd. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. So everybody be on the lookout. Let us know what you would like to watch. I'm going to just kind of force it. I want it to be a Laura fall pick because my polls keep winning. And and I feel bad. Like I don't want it to be just the one I pick.
Don't you dare feel bad. I'm going to go with I don't know if you want to do a Halloween themed one for for October 3rd, or if you want to
In
do a
my mind, I
Halloween
would love
for,
like the next three to be fall related.
okay.
Like this was one, and then let's do two more fall.
Well, we have one on the 31st, which we will probably need to pre-record because I will have jogathon and a family picnic and
Okay.
Halloween. So
Well,
we'll probably,
on that note, folks, these pre-recorded ones, you can find them, and we'll link it on Facebook and all that, but you can find them on my YouTube. So Coach David, it'll be there, and then it'll be on your podcast. So make sure you follow her podcast. How do we do that?
the podcast is called Money and Career Mastery, and you can find it anywhere podcasts are given away for free.
And what previous episode did you just put on?
The last one I did was Freaky Friday. Did went back a little bit.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for watching. And yeah, make sure you're following both of us so you can vote on the next poll. I want to see more on Laura's polls, okay?
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.